Hi, welcome to Golden Years. I'm Lori Betts. This month, my special guest is Medina County Prosecutor Dean Holman. So come on back and we're going to hear a little bit about his profession.
We need a claim number?
When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving. We're here to help.
Excuse me, are you Santa Claus? If you are him, here's my list.
Help the Marines make Christmas possible for less fortunate children. Donate a new toy to Toys for Tots.
Here's Santa Claus.
Welcome back to Golden Years. This month I am interviewing Dean Holman. He is a really good friend for probably 30 years plus. And we go back with a lot of organizations and a lot of activities we've been involved with. And I wanted to interview him this month because I want to hear a little bit about your daily operations, what goes on in that courthouse. Me being the layperson, and innocently of course, I've never had that side of the world. So thanks for coming, Dean.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Okay, so number one, are you still as active as you have been in the past? You and I did Optimist Club together.
I'm still in the Optimist Club in Brunswick. I joined in 1991. I was in the Chamber of Commerce with you, and I think because the prosecutor's office got so busy, I ceased my membership, terminated my membership with the Brunswick Chamber, I think in 2007.
And then we were on the Salvation Army
board yes,
together.
And it got so busy in the office that I could not make the noon meeting, so I no longer was able to participate on the board, but I still help out with the Salvation Army with the ringing of the bell at Christmas time.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Faithfully.
Yeah.
And sometimes in our daily lives, when you have a noon meeting, you know, you're stuck at your job, and if you start something, you just can't say, I'm going to a meeting.
That's right. That's right. And the Salvation Army board meeting was on the same day as grand jury, so it was hard to get here.
Very understandable.
Right.
Okay, so as a layperson, what goes on that behind the scenes that we are unaware of?
Well, the prosecutor's office has three main divisions: criminal, civil, and child support. So on a daily basis, I'm supervising those divisions. Police reports are being submitted routinely for review by grand jury and consideration to go to grand jury for charging. So we're reviewing those files. I'm meeting with the grand jury prosecutor on a daily basis, finding about new reports that have been submitted for review and submission to grand jury. I'm meeting with trial prosecutors about cases that are coming up for trial. I'm reviewing any plea deals and approving plea deals. I have a policy that I approve all plea deals. I'm meeting with the appellate attorney after cases are convicted. After someone's found guilty or they plead guilty, they oftentimes file appeals. So I review the appellate briefs. I read each appellate brief before it's filed. Then in the civil division, I'm going upstairs and meeting with the head of the civil division, Mike Lyons, and plus meeting with individual civil prosecutors to find out what's hot, requests for opinions, what kind of contracts have come in for a review, what lawsuits have been filed against the county or townships. The prosecutor's office is legal counsel for the county and all the county officials, and the 17 townships and all the officials in their 17 townships. So there's three trustees in each township, a fiscal officer, a zoning inspector, a board of zoning appeals, a zoning commission. We give advice to all those people. We give advice in personnel matters, on employment matters, contract matters. We represent the townships in lawsuits if there's no insurance. We sue on their behalf. Same thing with the county. So I'm routinely giving advice on those issues. There's public records requests. We give advice to township officials and county officials on how to hold meetings properly. So it's a wide array of responsibility. In addition, the juvenile division, handles cases. We take action in about 1,500 juvenile files a year. So I've got juvenile prosecutors in those cases. So I'm reviewing the upcoming schedules, the cases that are pending with the juvenile prosecutor and the juvenile prosecutor supervisor. There are 15 assistant prosecutors and a total staff of 28. I got a child support division, which has 3 assistant prosecutors.
You're exhausting me.
Yeah, we take action in around 1,500 files a year. So it's a busy office. We do a lot. For example, the civil division also represents the county in labor negotiations. So a lot goes on there.
So like weekly, I mean, is every day a different day?
Yes.
I mean, do you schedule different activities or?
Well, some days like Mondays and Thursdays are call days, basically, and Monday is the day that Judge Collier usually handles all his arraignments and sentencings, or most of them. So a lot of times I'm in court there on Monday. Thursday, Judge Kimbler, so I handle her. I go and sometimes handle cases on her docket, or a case I'm personally handling. Tuesdays every other week is grand jury. So each day is different. Like I can plan on going into court on a Thursday, but something may happen when I get to the office that I'm doing something else. So I always have to make room for the unexpected, because something unexpected always occurs.
Always happens. So
Right.
when you walk in the door in the morning, you know what your schedule is, but you don't know if that surprise is going to be
That's right.
coming on your desk.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And plus I handle, like this year I had in 2016, early 2016, starting in February, I personally handled a death penalty case that went for 5 weeks. So I was in court for 5 weeks. And starting in November, the previous November of 2015, the week after Thanksgiving, I started working 7-day weeks, getting ready for that trial, and that 7-day work week continued until that death penalty trial was over. So it's a lot. For every hour in court, it's 4 hours out of court preparation for me. I mean, it's that, and my prosecutors, I'm blessed with a good staff, a good staff of assistant prosecutors in all divisions. So they work hard for the citizens of Medina County.
And then do you guys all meet together too?
Well,
Do you have a group meeting?
not necessarily. You know, if I have to have a group meeting, I will. I don't like to waste their time. Usually I'm out in the hallways walking in their office to find out what's going on. If they need advice, you need to see me about anything, I'm going there. I'm going to them.
So you have to have a clear head when you walk in that building in the morning.
Yes, yes,
Very interesting.
yes.
And you've been prosecutor for how many years?
This is my 28th year. I started in January of 1989. Now, prior to that, I was an assistant prosecutor here in Medina County from 1981 to 84. And then while still living in Medina County, I was the chief trial assistant in the Huron County Prosecutor's Office in 1985 and 86. So
you've come across many cases.
yeah, I've supervised since 1989 14,000 felony indictments. Wow. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah, plus all the things that's gone, all the things we've done in civil. The civil division has done some amazing work. For example, on behalf of the county, we sued the city of Cleveland once over a water tower and got a $180,000 judgment against the city. So the county got $180,000. Dealt with a water tower out here on I-71. So we've done. We give the Board of Elections advice. We give the Health Department advice. The libraries advice. You name it, we're involved.
Wow. And you said you have 15
Assistants.
assistants.
Yes.
That is. But it takes a village to get it done.
Yes, it does. I mean, I'm fortunate. My assistant prosecutors are dedicated people, and I'm proud of all of them. They really do a good job. They're dedicated and they're gifted.
And they've been with you many
Yes.
years.
Like Scott Salisbury, who lives right here in Brunswick, has been with me since '96. Bill Thorne was there, started at the office in '74. He's still there. Matt Razavi's been with me since 2002. So I've had some good assistants. There have been people who've left and come back.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So.
All right, all these prosecutors, how do they get their positions?
The assistant prosecutors in my office, first of all, they have to be attorneys who have graduated from law school and who have been admitted to practice law in the state of Ohio. And then, you know, I hire them. I interview them and make a decision to hire them. From time to time, my office has been asked to be a special prosecutor. And how that developed was back in around 1990, a group of elected prosecutors met and discussed the issue of each of us agreeing to serve as special prosecutors in other counties so as to save the taxpayers of those counties money. And I remember I met with Stephanie Tubbs-Jones, who was then the Cuyahoga County prosecutor, David Joyce, Steve Lauderett from Lake County, and myself. We met in Cleveland. And prior to that time, if a special prosecutor was needed because the prosecutor in that county had a conflict because it was a family member or a client, meaning a public official, the judges would appoint private attorneys to serve as special prosecutor, and that could cost a lot of money. So we agreed to this informal mutual aid where if a prosecutor needed a special prosecutor, he could call upon one of the other prosecutors, and they would do it at no charge. So that way it saved the taxpayers of those counties money. So we've been doing that around here since around 1991 or 1990 or 91, and I've been a special prosecutor in 8 counties. I've gone to Cuyahoga to prosecute a probation officer, a mayor. Out in Erie County, I go out there mostly as special prosecutor. I prosecuted a police officer for rape, a newspaper publisher for rape, and people for drug offenses. Gone to Mansfield and prosecuted a chief of police for crimes he committed in office, and other people down there, and routine criminals too. But Kevin Baxter has come here as special prosecutor. Bill Mason sent people down as special prosecutor. Stephanie Tubbs-Jones did. So I've been to Cuyahoga, Lorain, Huron, Erie, Tuscarora, Summit, Richland County, Ashland County. Wow. One of the cases in Ashland County, this clerk of court, who I think was 80 years old. She was still getting elected at 80 years old.
Oh, wow.
She had embezzled $300,000 approximately, which she used to play bingo. So I was asked by the Ashland County prosecutor to come in and serve as special prosecutor. So when we need a special prosecutor, we'll file a motion with the court, and the judges appoint the special prosecutor.
Oh, okay.
So the judges are in charge, you know. So then they'll take the case. If the conflict or something is known before a grand jury, they'll start the case off and take it to grand jury. Sometimes the conflict becomes apparent after grand jury. You find out, oh, this person is related to somebody, and so okay, we should get off of it, and then we appoint him. We ask the judge to appoint him afterwards. But it's worked out real well. It has saved the county, the citizens of Medina County, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the way of not having to pay private attorneys to serve as special prosecutors.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I guess we just don't realize, okay, we figure we're in Medina County, you know, you only take care of the cases that happen in Medina County, but they all have paper trail.
Right.
In different counties.
And there are cases where it's not because of a conflict, but because of a continuing course of conduct that involved criminal acts in more than one county. One county would take all the cases, even though they're committed in other counties. The law allows for that. It's a continuing course of conduct. So I did it here in '89. Christopher Stone murdered his mother's boyfriend and shot his mother and shot at his brother, then stole the family car and drove through Ashland County and Wayne County committing crimes. You know, theft, robberies, shootings, and he's finally shot by a deputy in Ashland County. Well, we prosecuted all those crimes here in Medina County. So,
yeah, that's amazing.
And oftentimes you'll hear of organized criminal activity, organized criminal enterprise activity cases, and those often involve conduct in more than one county. We also did it, that's called a RICO case. We did it in '96 with a guy named, last name was Martinson. He was a professional fence for stolen property, and he had millions of dollars of jewelry at his home and in storage lockers. So, and it involved crimes committed across Northeast Ohio. So we did all those here in Medina. Wow. And there were millions of dollars forfeited. Yeah, he had millions of dollars of jewelry in his home and in his storage units. Just unbelievable.
God, does any of these cases surprise you? Or people are just people?
No.
Anything can happen.
I'm rarely surprised anymore.
All right, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
So we'll be right back, and we're going to continue The Life of a Prosecutor with Dean Holman. Come on back.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Always. Lock it up.
You're watching The Bat.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Welcome back to Golden Years, and I'm interviewing Prosecutor Dean Holman, and he is sharing with us what goes on in the day, the month, the week of a prosecutor's office. And one thing I want to ask, because like I said, people are people, and some people are trustworthy, and some people, especially seniors, when they get the phone call or if they get something in the mail, they believe it is true, and that if they don't make a move and do something, they will be in trouble. So tell me about some of those scams that are flying around.
Well, I just talked with the police here in Brunswick and the sheriff's office a couple of weeks ago about new scams they're seeing, and both related to me that they're seeing scams against the elderly on Facebook. And one involved where a grandchild has put on Facebook that he or she is traveling to Canada or somewhere else on vacation. Mm-hmm. Then during the time they're on vacation, the grandparents will get contacted on Facebook that the message represents that the person to be the grandchild requesting money because they're in jail or they're hurt in the hospital. Wow. And some people, so that scam is out there. And the other one I heard through the sheriff's office has been two incidents where somehow people make friends on Facebook with people in foreign countries. And one I think was Dubai or something like that. And then the person, they get a contacted on Facebook by a person who says your friend is in the hospital. Wire money immediately. So those are scams. The scams I'm hearing about here recently are both deal with Facebook. Then there are distraction scams that I've heard about where shoppers in stores, and this actually happened to a lady in Stowe. She was shopping and an elderly man who appeared to be in his 80s walks up and says, this is in a store that had a pharmacy, says, I just got this prescription, could you read the label and tell me what it says? So while the lady is reading the label a few feet away from her cart, someone else went into her purse and got her wallet and took off. Now this person realized it immediately and pursued the people out of the store, called 911, an officer was in the area, and they found the elderly person who had asked her to read the bottle with a younger person in the parking lot and arrested them both. But the other distraction scam that
oh my goodness.
The other distraction scam involving shoppers is a person is shopping and a person who usually is well dressed will walk up and say, hey, I'm from out of town, I'm just visiting, I can't find the dairy section, or I can't find this. Can you point me in the right direction? And they'll walk the person a few feet away from the cart to get pointed in the right direction. Then someone else is stealing from the purse, or just taking the whole purse. And then college kids are getting scammed. They've applied for admission into a college and housing, and they'll get a letter or an email. They'll get email, excuse me, saying you've been accepted for housing in a certain apartment. Your application for a lease has been accepted. Please send file your credit card information. Please provide your credit card information. College kids have been scammed out of money. So that's the scams I'm hearing now. What I'm seeing mostly against the elderly, what I see routinely in my office against the elderly is grandchildren and children who are hooked on drugs, who are stealing from their grandparents. Like they'll come over, and these could be people in their 20s or people in their 40s. It could be people 19, 20, early 20s or older who are hooked on drugs. They'll come over, they'll steal checks from their grandparents' checkbooks, they'll steal firearms to sell, they'll steal jewelry, you name it, they'll steal it. So if someone steals a firearm, we're charging them with, we're asking the grand jury to indict, and the grand jury is agreeing to do it. Theft of a firearm and a firearm specification of 1 year, which means they got to at least serve 1 year in prison, which means they're doing a minimum of like of 18 months. So we're taking a hard line on that. But most of the offenses I see against the elderly involve family members, just blatantly stealing from them. You know, or a grandchild will come over to visit with her boyfriend, and the boyfriend will walk around the house and steal. We've had cases like that. Yeah, those are most of the cases I see against the elderly.
That is so sad. People just don't care about people anymore.
Well, the drugs have gotten.
And the drugs, and kudos to the county that they're really hitting this head on.
Yeah, the heroin, addiction. The heroin addicts are doing a lot of this. So
that is just so sad.
A few weeks ago, Wadsworth arrested a guy walking down the middle of Woodland Avenue with a backpack filled with methamphetamine. Well, it wasn't filled, but it was, I'm sorry, I don't mean to misstate it. There was a backpack containing a significant amount of methamphetamine walking right down the middle of the street on Woodland Avenue in Wadsworth. We've got, the Medina County Drug Task Force working now in Brunswick and in all other parts of the county. They're doing an outstanding job.
So can they just stop him, or?
Well, they stopped and started talking to him about what he's doing and where he's going.
Okay.
And then based on that individual's comments, they asked him for permission to look into his knapsack. He gave them permission. They found the methamphetamine.
Wow.
I don't know if he thought they were going to miss it or what, but, and the police are doing a good job out on the highways interdicting drugs. When they stop someone for a traffic violation, they'll call the dog, the canine, who does a drug sniff, or they'll ask for permission to search the car, and these people give permission knowing there's drugs in the car, so.
Wow. Okay, so you've been with the law many, many, many years.
Since 1981.
So, has the world gone awry?
No, I don't think the world has gone awry. I mean, our number of indictments have increased in Medina County, but so has the population. I mean, when I first got elected in 1988, took office in 89, the population was 110,000, and we had around 350 indictments a year. Now our population is like 175, 180,000, and we're around 750 indictments. A few years ago, we were over 800. Now, certainly the number of drug cases has increased. Drug cases has really increased. But
that's every county.
That's every county. And the number of overdoses, the people who have respiratory difficulties and would die without intervention, we've never seen these kind of numbers before. We're already up. 2 weeks ago, I think we were up to 100 in August, like the middle of August. We were up to 127 overdoses in the county. We'd already surpassed all of last year in August. So, but our police are trained on the use of Narcan. EMS people are trained on the use of Narcan, and they are the sheriff's department is, and they've done an outstanding job reviving these people and saving their lives.
Thank God.
Yeah, and we got the courts, are running drug courts. Judge Kimbler has a drug court in her courtroom. Judge Collier is basically doing the same thing. He's had a drug court for years. Judge Collier does an outstanding job. They both do, Judge Kimbler, Judge Collier. The juvenile court has a drug court, so we're attacking this with treatment, with punishment. We're trying to find the answer here.
But even the punishment, I mean, some kids if their thinking is so far out there, they're probably going to care less.
We've had people who have served their time in jail, 6 months or whatever, get out and go right back to heroin the first day. So I don't.
So it didn't change them in any way,
Yeah, did
shape
not.
or form.
No.
But then it goes the other way too. You have the people that are free of drugs. I mean, they go on to maybe a good 6 months and they say, I've been drug free.
That's right. There are people who beat their addiction to heroin or whatever the drug is.
And that's a whole different show. I mean, I'm not of that world, so it just amazes me how it all gets started and how people approach people and.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know. It's scary. It's very, very scary. I mean, I have great nieces and nephews, and you just think, these innocent little kids.
Right.
I mean, and then it just starts. Somehow, someone approaches you, and so
right. Hopefully.
But you guys are in Medina County is doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
And you guys are staying up on it.
Yeah, we're on it. I have a policy of not not plea bargaining drug cases unless they cooperate with law enforcement in the apprehension of drug dealers. Give information, make a buy, do something.
That's good.
Or they're pleading the charge. And I was told by Judge Collier a few weeks ago that if I didn't have that policy of no plea bargaining in drug cases, these people wouldn't go into treatment. The legislature, I'm not criticizing the legislature in 2011 passed a law that said the courts cannot sentence felonies of the 4th and 5th degree to prison. You can give them local jail time, unless they've been to prison before. There's few exceptions, There are a few exceptions to that. For the most part, the court's hands are tied. They cannot send people convicted of felonies of the 4th degree and 5th degree to prison. Most of our drug offenses are felonies of the 4th and 5th degree. And drug users and drug dealers know to keep their amounts low, so they're probationable amounts. They know to drive leased cars or borrowed cars, so the vehicles can't be forfeited. Wow. These guys adapt real quickly.
They're on it.
So so these guys can't be sent to prison, they think. If I would reduce their F5s to misdemeanors, they wouldn't even be going into treatment. So keeping it at the felony 4 and 5 level, the policy of the prosecutor's office of not reducing these cases forces these people into treatment. If not, they're going to local jail or probation. Now, if they're put on probation or treatment and if they violate, and the court makes a determination they're just not going to follow the rules and regs of probation, the court will send them to prison. So.
Well, you have an interesting job.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I like making a contribution to the community.
Yeah, and you're very well known around the county and the surrounding counties.
Yeah, well, thank you.
So we thank you for your work.
Well, you're
and
more
your
than welcome.
Team members.
And you do a lot for the elderly in this county.
I love the elderly.
You do, and that comes across. You have a compassion for them. You love them. You like helping them. So you love helping them. So it's good to be around you too, Lori.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you for joining me today on Golden Years.
You're welcome.
And I know you're a very busy man, so I'm going to let you free.
Okay, well, thank you.
So thank you for joining us this month on Golden Years, and we'll see you at the next show.